Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Honeywood Show. My name is Kyle Lewis. I play guitar in Maggie Rose. And them vibes. I got something for you. I'm coming to you here live from my home in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a sunny yet brisk day here in January. I want to thank Honey for having me on her show. This is the Honeywood Show. And despite all of modern technology, she cannot be here in person to ask me these questions. So I'll be reading the questions and answering them. So that's how we're going to do it. Yeah. Nice and intimate here in my place. So let's just get right in it. What is your biggest sin? Starting with a banger. I like it. But I mean, what's, one person's sin just could be, another man's favorite pastime, and I mean, how can you really say what a sin is, Okay, I do tend to drink on the old booze every now and then. If you're asking what do I drink, I can't say specifically, but it starts with a T and rhymes with tequila. Let's see here. How and when did your musical career really get started? So, I grew up in a small town in Ohio called Circleville. And at a young age, I started playing music. I think I was in 4th grade or so. I really actually started playing the drums and then switched over to guitar and then many other instruments. I just had a knack for just picking stuff up and wanting to play them. Learn how to play them. And that brought me all the way to Tennessee, where I studied at Middle Tennessee State. In college, I studied music for 4 years. And at that point, it seemed pretty validated to be going to upper education, higher education, learning and playing all the time. And MTSU is such a great community, and being so close to Nashville was a very real education. A lot of the professors there are real working musicians right here in Nashville. So, I mean, that's when I really could feel the wheels turning on this whole thing, and that led me to play with several artists here in town. After I graduated, I moved right up into Nashville and started gigging a lot. And for me, also, when I joined Them Vibes, it's a rock and roll outfit out of Nashville, and that's where my passion is rock and roll. Being able to play with them and get that gig was really, really a sense of validation, or really, feel it getting started, because there's so much passion there. It's what I really wanted to do. There's a two-parter to this, because it says, Honey asks, in a sense, when did you feel you were doing something right and getting confirmation from the heart? And that's what I'm talking about. I think at that point, when I joined Them Vibes, that was the confirmation at heart, And then that just snowballed, and obviously now I play with Maggie Rose as well, and the gigs keep getting bigger. We are doing some really great things, and you can really feel it, adding up to something.
What makes you tick?
All right, question 3 here. Here we go. You play with 2 very successful bands. You are used to touring, people and their response and energy. You probably miss that. Now the whole situation in the world is different. How did you survive those 2 difficult years as an artist?
Times of trouble, in times of bliss.
I mean, we did. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was tough, and as an artist, it's like, good Lord, you're not essential. So we were like, estranged in a way. But I'm very thankful to be with Maggie and them vibes during those 2 years, and even now we're still dealing with it. But we were able to really keep busy and keep moving forward, and keep on keeping on. So much so that even last year we just finished a 6-month tour. Essentially, we started really hitting the road back in July and went right up until the holidays, right up until Christmas time. So, I mean, very thankful, and that presented all kinds of challenges, but we've been dealing with it. And yes, getting back out live, that connection that you're talking about, that people's response and energy, I mean, it's vital, especially when you're making your living as a touring musician. You need that. So that's been, again, I feel very fortunate and lucky that we were still able to do a lot of that, and we're going to continue doing more. I think this year is going to be even more exciting too.
What's so wrong with a little bit of maintenance? Oh, give a little more, take a little less. With some faith and a whole lot of patience. Singing low.
The story of Maggie Rose is stunning. Today there are so many bands and singers where everyone can somehow succeed through social media. Many times the value of music is lost. The energy of the band is beautiful. How important is that the musician has this with the band and connection with it? So there's a lot there, but yeah, to the beginning of that, the story of Maggie Rose is stunning, and I've only been a part of it for, say, the last 3 or 4 years, but Maggie, as you may or may not know, started as a country music artist in Nashville. And as you may or may not know, when you're on a label in country music, or any label, it's very hard to get off of that. I mean, they're kind of like, hey, here's the songwriter, here's the songs, and this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it, and this, here's what you're going to wear, this is what you're going to look like, this is what you're going to eat. No, probably not that intense, but it's a lot. And for someone like her to get off of that and away from that and say, hey, I'm going to do my career the way I want to do it, and not have anyone really tell me what I'm going to do is stunning, and it's hard to do, and pretty cool to be a part of that, and I love seeing it go. I mean, she's gotten to write and record and do her thing her way, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. And the energy of the musicians in the band that's vital to that. I mean, we all have to have a lot of trust in one another, and keep this thing moving forward.
I was born on electric fever. Revolution just around the way. Oh yeah. You wanna change? I got something for you. You wanna change? I got something for you.
All right, next question. What is your favorite band or musician in country rock music? Who gives you an inspiration? Boy, I'm inspired by almost everybody I come across, Truthfully, I mean, there's so much talent, especially in this town of Nashville, Tennessee. There are so many people just absolutely killing it and doing such good things. It is truly inspiring. And when I first moved here, say 10 years ago, I mean, I always joke, the guy back in your groceries is a phenomenal guitar player, your bartender, I mean, she's an incredible singer, it's everywhere. You can find the inspiration. Now, going back to like when I started really playing, I mean, my favorite band that I still draw a lot of inspiration from, probably Led Zeppelin, easy answer. But truthfully, I think that Jimmy Page was one of the most innovative and creative guitar players, you know, because you look at the songs, the song structure, the songwriting, just the use of the guitar, and all the many facets it has, open tunings, you know, double neck guitar. It was, you know, violin, bow on the string. I mean, just everything was just kind of innovative to me and just like a wow factor. Like, you can do all that. And you look at the songs, the songwriting, the song structure, it's just, you know, all the capabilities of the guitar right there. And I still try to pull from that as an inspiration. For instance, I don't always think about the guitar being a guitar. Like, what if you played a line on guitar that was more of like a horn part, you know? Or maybe it is something very legato like a string section would do, you know? And with the amazing effects that we all have now, it's all more possible to get those sounds. But the idea of it, the approach of it, you know, is kind of where I get that from.
World is burning, smoke is rising, fight the fire, take you higher, right on, right on.
We did get to play, we opened up for quite a few really big names. We opened up for Leonard Skinner once, and that was pretty cool because I'm a big fan. And at the time, a guy named Johnny Colt was playing bass with Leonard Skinner, and he used to play bass with the Black Crowes, which I'm a huge fan of the Black Crowes, always have been. And that was really cool to like see him on stage, be like, oh my God, that's Johnny Colt. And not to mention, yeah, I mean, Leonard Skinner's pretty awesome. We also got to, with Maggie Rose, we also got to open up for Heart, you know, Ann and Nancy Wilson, the two sisters. I mean, they've been very inspiring. I mean, Nancy Wilson, I mean, good Lord, the way she plays guitar, it's really incredible. So, very lucky to have been in those positions to open up for some big names, great people.
In a world nothing's left, if it all comes crashing down, our love will still be around. When I'm anxious, out of my mind, feeling restless.
Next question here. You look so genuine on stage. Thank you. Got my purple pants on today. Genuine on stage, though. Okay. How much does music affect your private life and the other way around? Great question. Me personally, it kind of defines my life. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, my personal life and my genuine image on stage is hand in hand. You know, I don't think I'm that much different in front of a ton of people or just sitting right here in my jam room in my house, you know. You're getting the same person, really, you know, so it goes hand in hand. And yeah, I mean, we have that, all of us, I think, have that genuine look, you know. It's a very natural place for all of us to be. And I think most great performers have that kind of thing, where it's a very natural aura that they have, you know. And you can tell that nothing really changes on or off stage, you know. You're kind of seeing that person, you know.
There are signs on your face in the dim light, echoes of dreams just out of sight, lying there wishing and full of ambition you realize. So you turn towards the door, but the key don't work no more.
Can music still change how people think these days? Does it still have that power? I'm going to say yes. I believe it does. You know, it's not the 60s anymore. It's not the age of the protest song where, you know, I think back then songs really spearheaded a lot of just overall thought, you know, and emotion. And, yeah, I mean, it could change how people think and see the world. And, you know, I definitely think the power of music still has that. And it's definitely still out there. And whether you realize it or not, because I always like to think that even in a small way, it's kind of changing your perception on something or changing your thought or how you think, and even if that's just jamming to like one of your all-time favorite songs in the car and you're like, I'm just gonna have a good day today. Or the radio's on, your favorite song comes on, you turn it all the way up and you're going into work and you're like, all right, today's gonna be a good day. I mean, even though that's just so minuscule, I mean, that changes you, that changes your thought and your whole outlook. And even if that only lasts for a day, or even if it only lasts for an hour or something, it still has the power to do that. And that's why music is very important. Music's very important to culture. Arts are needed here because just that little tiny bit, if it can bring you a little bit of happiness, then it's doing its job. Or if it can just change the whole world and like really awake a lot of people and like open a lot of people's minds, then it's definitely doing its job. But if it's moving you in any way, then rock and roll especially, I mean, it's doing its job. Music is doing its job if it's moving you. So, yes, great question. Moving on here, Nashville is one special place. What are things you love here, and what are things that have changed in a direction that you don't like in this recent era? Good question. I do love Nashville. My dad has been in Nashville since the 90s, so even though I grew up in Ohio, I was kind of back and forth, and I saw a lot of it change since the 90s, I think I already said this, but one thing I love about Nashville is the inspiration you get here. A lot of people move here, and a lot of people are extremely talented that move here, and you see that. I mean, it's not just the bigger names here, but just the people that are just grinding, just working every day. It's really inspiring and really cool to be in a city that has that. Where you can find inspiration around every corner. Some of the things that don't like the direction it's heading. I never thought Nashville would be such a tourist town. I mean, we have really turned it into a tourist town, whether you know that or not. But yeah, it's crazy how many people come here and just go to Broadway, march up and down the streets, and it's like, locals hardly ever go there anymore. I never go downtown. And they're building hotels and condos and apartments literally everywhere, and that I didn't see coming either. Nashville was this tiny little community, this city. It was only like 500,000 people when I moved here. Now it's more than double that. So exponential growth real fast. But I mean, it's still a pretty cool place to be. I always joke whenever we go on the road, I love to see places. I love to travel and go everywhere. But when we come home, it's like, man, we come home to Nashville. It's pretty cool.
Hey, this is Maggie Rose, joined by Them Vibes, and this is Do Right from Change the Whole Thing.
What's the craziest thing that's happened in your music career? Oh, what's the craziest thing happened to you in your music career? Boy, I gotta say, playing with Bill Murray, I think, might be the craziest thing. I wish I had the photo here. Maybe Honey can find it. It's on my Instagram at Wang Almond. We did the Murray Brothers Caddyshack event, and the very first year I was a part of it, we actually got to be the backup band and have a lot of special guests come up, including a lot of the Murray Brothers, and then at the end of the night, it was Bill Murray. Bill Murray comes up and sings 3 songs. Not only that, there was like a group of people on the stage. I was in the back playing guitar, and we were playing, come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now, And there's like this guitar solo thing that's happening. Well, Bill's going nuts, and he actually comes all the way to the back of the stage, grabs me, brings me to the front of the stage, right where he is, and starts like tribal dancing around, and I'm like playing guitar. I don't even know how good I'm playing guitar at this moment. I'm just like, it's so surreal. I'm like, that's Bill Murray, literally right in front of me, just dragging me up to the front of the stage, and then the chorus comes back around. We're sharing a microphone and both singing into it, and there's pictures and videos of this. I'm not lying. That was probably the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life. So I'm glad my musical career took me there.
Ladies and gentlemen, them vibes and Maggie Rose.
World keeps turning.
All right, we're moving right along here. Last question. Them Vibes and Maggie Rose performed together a lot. How did that happen? Do you have any news of new tour dates coming soon? Any news at all? It's crazy because really, Maggie's drummer for a long time, her name's Sarah Tomek. She was kind of the connection for all that because Sarah and Larry, otherwise known as Brother Love, are married now. And Brother Love, obviously the lead singer of Them Vibes. So there's that initial connection, and then that really opened up to a lot. And then Alex Haddad, the guitar player in Them Vibes, the other founding member, the great songwriter. And so Larry and Alex would write with Maggie, and they would get together all the time. And they actually helped co-write a lot of songs on Maggie's last 2 records that have come out. Making that connection even stronger. And then, it didn't take long to be like, all right, Them Vibes, we got a great band here, got great songwriting up front too. And then with the help of Maggie, it all just came together. It just made sense. All the ingredients were there. Let's just put it in the oven, So, pretty cool how that happened. We always used to say it's kind of like Linda Ronstadt and the Eagles kind of thing, But yeah, that's been just absolutely amazing for me, and it's really snowballed my career personally, and just as a guitar player, to get to play with 2 great acts, And I can say there are tour dates for this year, so be on the lookout for that major announcement. The Maggie Rose did announce Bonnaroo this year, so that's a huge festival here in Middle Tennessee. Bonnaroo, just 4 days of absolute insanity that I love. I used to attend it just to go, just to have fun. And I remember telling myself, I'm coming back here, but when I come back here, I'm going to come back on stage. And this year that is happening, so I am thrilled. We're playing on Friday that weekend at Bonnaroo, which is exciting. But again, there are tour dates, and they will be announced soon. All that is happening. We'll be kind of moving on to Maggie will be doing a lot of opening slots, I can tell you that. So we'll be playing at bigger stages, opening up for bigger names, which is really exciting. As well as there will be a lot of festivals. And of course, there will be the headlining club dates as well. So be on the lookout. All that's coming. I mentioned before, but my Instagram is Wang_Allman because I look like Dwayne Allman, and it'll go to show, you have a few too many of these one night at a bar and call yourself Wang Allman. It sticks for about 5 years. So look me up on Instagram, please, at Wang Allman. Also, definitely check out Maggie Rose and Them Vibes. Please give us all a follow. And thank you, Honey Wood. Thank you for having me. This was a blast. Thank you, everyone, for listening and putting up with me reading questions. Hopefully it wasn't that bad. We all got through it. I had a good time. And thank you so much. I'll catch you out there. I'll see you out there on the road. So farewell from Nashville.